Hey there, Detroit sports fanatics. I'm Taylor Phillips, and welcome to Taylor's Detroit Sports Show on Blog Talk Radio. It is 11 o'clock, and this is a 30-minute show. The number to call to voice your opinion is 646-478-4837. Again, that number is 646-478-4837. It is Sunday, October 19th, 2014. You can find me on Facebook. Add me as Taylor Phillips. Also on YouTube, simulcasting on Google Plus and Pinterest as Taylor Phillips. Like my Facebook page, Taylor Phillips' Detroit Sports page, and join my Facebook group, Taylor Phillips' Detroit Sports Group, to become a more educated and serious Detroit sports fan, and follow me on Twitter and Tumblr at DT2Phillips. There is also a chat window on Blog Talk Radio. So on all of my episodes of Taylor's Detroit Sports Show, for you to comment on with your opinions. Guidelines: if you have called in, stay on the line. If you hang up, redial the number and then stay on the line. Keep it clean. Treat the show with respect. If you don't know much about this or any Detroit sports, you can still just listen. And only I can change topics because I'm the head host of the show. Actually, I'm the only host of the show. Lots to talk about. We'll start off with the Lions' comeback win 24-23 over the New Orleans Saints. This is from Tim Twentyman of DetroitLions.com. What happened? It wasn't pretty for 3.5 quarters, but when the Lions needed a couple big plays trailing New Orleans late on Sunday, both the offense and defense found a way to make it happen in a 24-23 come-from-behind victory. Golden Tate's 73-yard touchdown catch with less than 4 minutes remaining in the game chipped the Saints' lead to 23-17. Then safety Glover Quinn was able to come up with the biggest turnover to date for the Lions this season, intercepting Drew Brees at the Lions' 37-yard line and returning it 23 yards down to the 14-yard line with 3:20 left in the game. Quinn said after the game that he and fellow safety James Ahedebo switched their coverage and responsibilities right before the play to try to confuse Brees, and it worked. Quarterback Matthew Stafford then tied Bobby Lane's franchise record for touchdown passes, 118, when he found Corey Fuller in the back of the end zone from 5 yards out to give the Lions a 24-23 lead with Matt Prater's up and good extra point. It was Fuller's first career touchdown. And that proved to be the game winner because the defense then did what it does best. All because of defensive coordinator Terrell Austin. They pinned their ears back and went after Brees, and when Darius Slay got his hand in to break up the final Brees pass of the day on 4th down and 3 yards to go, the Lions came away with their biggest win of the season. Brees racked up 335 passing yards, and it wasn't a dominant performance by any stretch of the imagination on either side of the football for the Lions, but head coach Jim Caldwell learned something about his football team today. He learned that there's no quit in these Lions, and he's got some playmakers. Well, that's true, despite all the injuries that they've suffered, including Calvin Johnson and Travis Lewis and Eric Ebron. There's quite a few. what didn't happen, the Lions continue to struggle running the football for whatever reason. They came in ranked 28th in the NFL running the football with 86.3 yards per game. They won't walk out of Ford Field ranked much better after gaining just 59 yards on 24 attempts. Critical moment number 1. Saints safety Kenny Vaccaro intercepted a Matthew Stafford pass that bounced off the hands of reserve tight end Jordan Thompson, who was just called up from the practice squad at the Saints 6-yard line in the fourth quarter, and proceeded down the sideline with the Lions end zone on his mind. The only player in his way was Stafford, who ended up tacking Vaccaro at the Detroit 49. Stafford saved a touchdown, and the Saints got a field goal out of it. It may seem like a small play in the grand scheme of things, but Stafford's tackle allowed an opportunity for the Lions to fight their way back. Speaking of the field goal, the Saints drew a roughing the kicker penalty. The Saints drew a roughing the kicker penalty while the field goal is up and good. While they drilled the field goal while they kicked the ball right through the uprights. And this is a situation where they could have taken the roughing the passer penalty and try to turn a field goal into a touchdown to pretty much seal it, to turn it into a 3-score game, instead of taking the field goal and still keeping it a 2-score game. To give the Lions another chance to come back and win, which they did. Critical moment number 2, facing a 4th and 5 at the Saints 9-yard line late in the fourth quarter and trailing 23-17, a pass interference penalty by the Saints on a pass intended for Reggie Bush bailed out the Lions. The penalty was completely unnecessary by the Saints because it didn't appear Bush was past the first down to begin with, and there were 3 Saints around him. The Lions were awarded the first down and scored the winning touchdown 3 plays later. Corey Fuller had to leap to catch that ball in the back of the end zone. With 1:48 left in the game, key stat 126.4. Stafford's official passer Stafford's official passer rating for the game actually is 80. Stafford's official passer rating for the game is 85.3 after completing 27 of 40 passes for 299 yards with 2 touchdowns and 2 interceptions, not 3. 2. His fourth quarter passer rating will officially be 96.7 after going 7 for 14 with 145 yards of 2 touchdowns and an interception. The interception, however, was not on Stafford. It bounced off the right hand. It bounced right off the hands of Thompson, Jordan Thompson, that is, one of the practice squad players. Take that interception away, and Stafford's passer rating in the fourth quarter Sunday was 126.4. It wasn't pretty for him most of the game, but he came through when he needed it at the end. The play of the game, trailing 23-10 with less than 4 minutes left in the game, the Lions needed a play. Receiver Golden Tate provided it. Stafford threw a ball up to Tate and proceeded to outrun the Saints defense for a 73-yard touchdown with 3:53 left in the game. The score.
Thanks, Joe. What an exciting game as quickly Stafford throwing, and the pass is caught. coming out of a game break, and we missed the biggest play of the game for Detroit.
Chris Myers on the call on Fox. The score chipped the Saints' lead to 23-17. Player of the game, Golden Tate, right there at wide receiver. Tate was nothing short of spectacular. He recorded career highs with 10 catches for 154 yards and scored a touchdown. For the season, Tate now has 48 catches for 649 yards and a couple touchdowns. That's 2. The game mostly looked ugly, and with that lucky interception by the Saints, I did not think that the Lions would come back and win the game. Because of how poorly their offense performed in general. But that was until the moment that catch by Golden Tate occurred. And that was the play that lit the spark late in the game for the Lions. It was quite amazing. What else can I say? Lions improved to 5-2. They play the Atlanta Falcons in London, England, Sunday at 9:30 a.m. Eastern. Dan Miller and Jim Brandstatter have the call on the radio on the Lions radio network, and 97.1 The Ticket, its flagship station in Southfield, Michigan, in the Detroit area. Let's see here. NFL.com. Standings. Saints now dropped to 2-4 after a heartbreaking loss to the Lions. Oh my. Yeah, the Falcons are 2-5 right now. I think it's a winnable game for the Lions. If any Lions fan from anywhere in the world is traveling to London, England, to actually see that game, they better cheer hard for the Lions. And I hope a lot more Lions fans come in and cheer hard and root for them. And I think that'll actually happen, because the Lions are 5-2 and the Falcons are 2-5. The Falcons still stink after starting off 2-1. They've lost 4 straight and have lost 4 out of their last 5. They are 0-2 in non-conference play. Well, that's against the AFC. 2-3 in conference play, in NFC play, actually. The Falcons are 0-4 on the road, 2-1 at home in Atlanta. So let's move on to the next topic. Spartans rout in college football. The Michigan State Spartans rout the Hoosiers in Bloomington, Indiana. The Indiana Hoosiers 56-17. Indiana struck first with a touchdown from true freshman quarterback Xander Diamont. On a 9-yard run, actually making it 17-14 at the 5:25 mark in the second quarter. But Michigan State quickly reclaimed the lead when Jeremy Langford scored on an 8-yard run, one of 3 touchdown runs on the day for the senior tailback, and starting the game, ending up of a game-ending 42-0 run for the Spartans. Connor Cook went 24 of 32 passing for 332 yards with 3 touchdowns and 1 interception. MSU led 28-17 at halftime after a 68-yard touchdown drive out of the 2-minute offense. Nick Hill finished with 178 yards rushing, while Jeremy Langford had 109. Langford actually opened the scoring in the game with a 32-yard touchdown run, hitting a wide-open hole and then stiff-arming Indiana cornerback Tim Bennett the final 8 yards before lunging into the end zone. Josiah Price had a 67-yard catch and run, helping the Spartans reclaim the lead in the second quarter, leading to Jeremy Langford's other 8-yard run for the TD. Nick Hill with a 76-yard touchdown run in the fourth quarter to cap off the scoring. Connor Cook completed a 41-yard touchdown pass to Tony Lippett. Spartans next take on Michigan. At Spartan Stadium, and I assume that should be on ABC. The Wolverines had the bye week. Central Michigan lost to Ball State at Kelly Short Stadium 32-29 in Mount Pleasant on a game-winning field goal. The Chippewas lose a heartbreaker there. Let me check their record one more time. By the way, Eastern Michigan gets hammered by UMass, Massachusetts, 36-14, while Western Michigan, the Broncos, take care of the Bowling Green Falcons, 26-14. Massachusetts is the Minutemen. I only got 10 minutes here. Chippewas now dropped to 4-3. They're at Buffalo Saturday at 3:30 on ESPN3, which is ESPN.com. That's my school, by the way. My Chips are kind of average at best, with Dan Enos as their head coach. Moving on to hockey, the Red Wings losing a shootout 3-2 in a 2-0 was a shootout to the Bruins on Wednesday night rivalry on NBCSN. The shootout was 2-0 in 2 rounds. The game was 3-2. Henrik Zetterberg quoted, "I think it was one of my worst games as a Red Wing." But then he bounced back against the Toronto Maple Leafs, helping the Red Wings sweep Toronto with a 4-1 win at Air Canada Centre Friday, and then with leading them with 4 assists. Johan Franzen scored 2 goals. Gustav Nyquist had himself a goal, so did Justin Ablocator, and then Henrik Zetterberg got the game-winning goal with 9.9 seconds left in overtime to lift the Wings to a 1-0 win at Joe Louis Arena, Hockey Town. Wings now improved to 3-1-1. They're at Montreal against the Canadiens Tuesday at 7:30. Canadiens are an elite team with PK Subban and Carey Price and Peter Budaj on the team. I think Price and Budaj are still on the team. But the Wings are going to have their hands full after 2 days rest. They better get ready. I want to touch on something here. I was watching the Red Wings live post game after the 1-0 overtime victory. Mickey York was hosting it, and at one point, when they were about to go to commercial break, Mickey York teased something very falsely negative about Gustav Nyquist. He asked 2 dumb questions, 2 stupid questions, may I add. What is wrong with Gustav Nyquist? Should he be traded? Mickey York, you are a delusional moron. How much homework have you done? None. And to downgrade Nyquist like that? You think he's in a slump? He's not. And then Mickey York does not even cover it on the post game. Because Mickey York is horrible and by far the worst on the Fox Sports Detroit broadcast team. Mickey York needs to either quit his job or get fired by John Keating, their station manager, or whoever the station manager is, and their program director. Oh, back to college football. Western Michigan takes on Ohio at home at 2, and Eastern Michigan takes on Northern Illinois at 1. The Ohio Bobcats are the Broncos' next opponent in Kalamazoo. But Gustav Nyquist is not going to be traded by the Red Wings. The Red Wings need him. He's a very valuable asset, and he's not in a slump at all either. So for you to So, Mickey York, for you to rip Gustav Nyquist in any way, shape, or form, you are 100% stupid and wrong altogether and individually. I hope you leave immediately. I hope you get fired. I like the rest of the Fox Sports Detroit team. I thought Lindsay Hayes did a good job as a correspondent during the Wings' 1-0 overtime win. I think she should stay. I think Trevor Thompson's okay. He should stay. Matt Shepard, Justin White, of course John Keating. He's the master. Everybody on the Fox Sports Detroit team should stay. Mickey York should get the heck out. Now the Ilitch selling rumor. It has been rumored that Mike Ilitch and his family are putting the Red Wings, Tigers, and Little Caesars up for sale, and stating that the Ilitches have made this known. Assuming the Ilitches are telling us that they're putting it up for sale, putting the entire fan base, letting the entire fan base and the media know. Bob McCown heard about it. Bob McCown from Sportsnet's Primetime Sports. He mentioned that he heard that the Ilitches are putting their entire enterprise up for sale and making retirement plans. Can't say how long it will take. Most of you don't believe this, just because Ilitch would never abandon his family or his enterprise, because it's very popular and a very valuable asset to the city of Detroit. Well, you're wrong. I believe it's true. Ilitch is getting old. He's building a new arena, but that doesn't make a difference. It has nothing to do with the Babcock Toronto rumor either. Let's move on to Dave Dombrowski, the Tigers' president and general manager. He gives vague answers to Tigers fans right before I sign off here. This town wants answer. Dombrowski says about the Pfister trade, he doesn't regret the deal. Says they didn't just work out. That happens. And he says they have some young pitchers that we feel pretty comfortable, that they feel pretty comfortable at this point. But I'm not sure where all that would take place. But I feel comfortable staying internal with the four guys we would have at that point. But again, we haven't made that decision. Dombrowski sounds and looks like an idiot. No offense. He didn't give any of the reasons. He says he's not confident in signing Max Scherzer. He didn't give any of the reasons for any of his details, including David Price, the bullpen, the center fielder, and the left-handed hitter, and da-da-da-da-da. I'm going to... my time's just about up. Thanks for listening. I'll be back next week, Sunday at 11. This is Taylor's Detroit Sports Show. I'm Taylor Phillips, simulcasting on YouTube and, of course, on Blog Talk Radio. TTFN, ta-ta for now.